In 2016 and 17, Harlem Spartans were having the years of their life. They dropped tunes like Kenner and Where It Started, which is now on 16 million views, which is very rare for a UK drill song. Not only this, but they were actually doing drills. They were really doing what they were rapping about, and causing quite a storm to the ops who was in Brixton, South London. They were also making money in the trap, serious money, and like most gangs in London were involved in county line operations. Now obviously with all this attention they're drumming up, the feds were starting to clock onto them. These times Harlem Spartans were doing numbers on YouTube. Lowski, who pretty much set the platform for the group with his songs DJ Khaled and Hazards, was in jail for some gun charges. Oh yeah, and if you didn't know, guns are illegal in England, and possession of a firearm could get you a max sentence of 14 years. This makes guns quite scarce in England, and most guns you will find will probably be very rusty guns from World War II, or shotguns which farmers are permitted to own. That's the reason why knives are a more popular choice of weapon. But can you imagine if guns were legal in London? I think it would definitely be one of the most dangerous places in the world. I just want everyone to really just think about how tapped you have to be to stab someone 20 to 30 times. Like, I really do think it's a mental illness, but it's so normalised in London. So after Lowski, the next member of the rap group to go down was TG Million. He was arrested shortly after releasing the hit song Call Me a Spartan, which is on around 10 million views right now. TG Million was sentenced to 12 years for stabbing a rival gang member after a high-speed chase on his ops block. He is seen freestyling often on his Instagram, talking about how much damage he's done to the ops. But the gang life doesn't just stay on the streets of London, they follow you to prison as well. There's a video of rival gang members, including drill rapper Burner from Clapham Junction, absolutely destroying TG Million in prison. Like, I won't show the video because it is quite graphic, but you can easily find it online, and you almost can't even recognize him in the video. That's how badly damaged he was. And it's tough because most of these gang members end up in jail with their ops, so there's literally no escape on road or in jail. And most people go to jail and leave with more beef than they came in with. We even see link-ups with different gangs in jail, like the North London gang Wood Green linked up with the East London gang ACG in jail, and now they have inherited their beef inside and outside jail. Honestly, I don't even know how these gang members keep up with the beef they have. Like, it seems like some of these gang members in areas are just beefing half of London, which is just stupid. But anyway, back to Harlem Spartans. In 2017, shortly after releasing their most popular track, Kenner and Where It Started, their two most popular rappers, Blanco and Miz on Mac, was arrested in a cab while riding on their ops, with a samurai sword and a gun. They got 3 and 6 years, but are both out now because in UK prisons you normally do half the time you're served for good behaviour and just to clear out the prisons quicker. But this put the group on hold for a bit musically, but the beef was still popping as ever. In 2018, it all really started kicking off, and in May, Harlem Spartans affiliate GB was shot dead while playing football in the park. He was only 17 years old and was from a group called Moscow 17. These guys are literally from an estate 7 minutes away from the Harlem Spartans block. Harlem Spartans and Moscow were still grieving the loss when 2 of their members were riding out on their ops block for revenge. A Harlem Spartans member called SA spotted some rivals in the car and drove up close and aimed his gun at them. The gun jammed while trying to shoot and he was stabbed in the chest and died on the scene. He was then pushed off the ped by the Moscow member and left to die. 3 months after this, Moscow 17's leader was stabbed to death in the same location where the other member GB died, which is even more ironic because Incognito was there when GB died, and rival gang members even said the bullet was meant for Incognito and wasn't even meant for GB. Just before he got murdered, Incognito actually beat a murder charge. He was arrested for the murder of a Zone 2 affiliate called ABS. Zone 2 are their main ops, and Incognito raps about the murder charge in a song called Blessed. So now Harlem and Moscow just lost 3 members in 4 months, and they were really starting to get mocked by their ops heavily. And even fans were starting to comment on Harlem Spartans members, pretty much saying ride for your dead friends. But the thing is, all these fans think they know about what's going on in the streets from drill pages and songs, but they really don't. Not even the slightest. They even think all these deaths and stabbings are just fun and games, but don't really understand that mums are crying and lives are ruined from all this. So Harlem Spartans are going on an absolute rampage after this. Harlem rapper G Smarko ridden his ops block on Halloween and shot a rival in the head. He was then sentenced to 21 years in prison. Another member called Jug was jailed for 10 years after stabbing a 30-year-old man in the head, leaving permanent brain damage. Harlem were on another ride out to the ops block when members GG and Scratcher were caught and arrested and sentenced to 10 to 5 years for possession of a firearm with intent to cause danger. Things got worse to worse when their most popular rapper Lowski was caught with a firearm in the cab and was arrested for possession of it. This left the rapper Biz to be the only one to hold it down for the group, but he was stabbed to death on December 6th last year. And it's even sadder that before Biz died, he wanted to turn his life around and turn legit after he beat some charges early in the year. But there's so many examples of people who joined the London gang life and tried to leave, but failed. A great example of this is an ex-MPK member called Kobe. MPK is the gang that I mentioned earlier who had beef with OFB. But Kobe started to change his life around and even started to be an advocate for helping people get out of knife crime. He was stabbed to death by MPK rivals, even though he left that whole life behind him. So there really is no escape unless you move to the other side of the country. But even then you could get caught by county line trappers from London. But these are just a few examples of gangs in London.